Hello, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tony. I am currently playing Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo, and I am doing story times. Today's story time is about the first time I ever got grounded, which I know seems kind of silly for a story time, but I will tell you, it's also the only time I ever got grounded. My parents were not really, like, they didn't scream at us, they never spanked us. They just kind of let us, basically be kids, I guess. But we weren't terrible kids, so I guess it worked for them. But we lived on a private road, as I've said in other stories, and we lived on a private road, and we had a river on one side of us, and and a main road on the other side. And we had certain spots that we were allowed to, like certain areas that we weren't allowed to go past. Oh shoot, I have to do both versions of this. And we weren't allowed to go past a certain house to go, like towards the roadside, and we weren't allowed down by the river without an adult. Obviously, makes perfect sense, right? Well, I am allergic to the cold, like actually allergic to the cold. So there were times where I really wasn't supposed to go outside a whole lot in the winter. Like obviously, my mom still let me go outside because she wasn't gonna make me just never go outside because you're a kid. It's not really practical. But there were times when the temperature would be cold enough that I really wasn't supposed to go outside a lot. And there was one time when school was canceled for like a week because there was an ice storm. And it was too icy outside. And it was also very, very, very cold. So I was not allowed to go outside for a whole lot of time. I could go out for I think it was an hour or something, and then I had to come back in and warm. And I also had to be very careful about, not letting my hands get too wet, and, just various things that, were to protect me from being in the cold. And I remember because there was this ice storm, there were parts of the grass where there was a layer of ice over top of it, but underneath of it there was water. And me and my friend and also the neighbor boys would break the hunks or break the ice with sticks or whatever, and this water would come out. And I would always want to drink it. Well, my mother didn't want me to drink it because it was very, 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 very cold. And even though it wasn't I don't have the kind of cold allergy where I go into anaphylactic shock when I drink anything cold, thankfully. I know some people have it that severe. I do not. I can, eat ice cream, I can drink cold stuff. But she still didn't want this cold water going all over my face, So she told me to be careful not to do that too much. But of course I, did it anyway because I was a kid. Anyway, me and the two neighbor boys were playing outside, and being children, we decided to break the rules and go down to the river. There were icebergs all over in the river at this time, and we decided, me and the younger of the two neighbor boys decided that it would be a good idea to climb on those icebergs. Well, the older one, the one closer to my age, watched, I guess to make sure that we didn't die. And so that's what we were doing. We were climbing around on these icebergs. And me and the younger boy both stepped on the same iceberg. And it broke in half and we fell into the river. We were fine. It was, barely waist deep, so it's not like, nothing tragic happened. We were okay, but we were soaking wet. Well, of course, my mother and father knew right away, especially, I'm pretty sure that they even saw us walking from the river. And I came up just head to toe soaked. And they asked what happened. And I lied my butt off and I said that I was playing in the little shooting water fountain thing that we made, with the area that I was drinking out of, the one that I wasn't supposed to drink too much of, and that I got it all over me. Really? Like, did I think my parents were that dumb? They knew for sure that that's not what happened. That thing couldn't have squirted enough water out to soak me as badly as I was soaked. So I, of course, got grounded for lying. And my grounding was that I could not leave my yard for a weekend. And I don't think it even lasted a weekend. I think it lasted one day. And the funny part is, I'm pretty sure that when the neighbor boys came over wanting to play, they were allowed to come play in the yard with me. Because at this time, by the way, if you haven't seen the story, My Little Sister Drowning, watch that story. And so we did have a fenced-in yard at that time, because by then my mother made my father fence in the yard. But yeah, so I got grounded for lying, and that was the only time in my entire life that I've ever been grounded, because my parents, again, were not real big on, and like my dad was one of those where like he would ground you for like a week, and then like 2 days into the punishment he would unground you, because I don't know, because he's like me, or I'm like him, I guess, and we can't handle making our children sad. But yeah, so that was the only time I ever got grounded, and that was what I got grounded for, and it was very, very, very silly, but it was a thing. It definitely was, definitely was the reason. So yeah, that's my grounding story. It's not really very good for a full video, but I thought that it was amusing, because I still can't believe that I did that. And I mean, we were so lucky, like, thank goodness that, like, it wasn't so cold. Like, we were wearing snow pants, by the way, also. Like, I wasn't just like, what, like, I always had to be outside in snow pants, because I needed that extra layer of protection because of my cold allergy. But still, that could have been, oops, oh my gosh, I'm so bad at this. But yeah, like, that could have been, like, really bad. Like, what if it was deeper? Like, we went, like, fully under, or we hit our heads, or we were going kind of, like we were, like, going on, like, we weren't going super far. We knew better than to go past the dock, because we weren't stupid. We were dumb, but we were not stupid. So, we weren't going to, like, do anything too bad, but still, that potentially could have been a very bad moment for that other little boy and I, if we had not been a little smarter, I guess, about the situation. And thankfully, like I said, the older brother was there, so I'm sure that he would have saved us when he was done laughing at us. Okay. I genuinely do not know where the, what do you call it as, like the secret exit to this level. I don't know where it is. I really don't know where it is, and this is very annoying. So anyway, why don't you tell me about the first time you've ever been grounded, if you remember it, or if your parents don't ground. I don't know, I guess like a funny time that you got in trouble for something incredibly stupid. Or something along those lines, if you have any good stories like that. Oh shoot. That was honestly like the dumbest thing that I ever got in trouble for, because I really stopped getting in any kind of trouble once my dad died. There wasn't really any kind of punishment. Anyway, I'm gonna end this here. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that. Follow my socials. Let me know what you think. Tell me about the first time you ever got grounded, or a funny time you got grounded. And I will be back next time with another suggestion from my nephew about all of the injuries that I've gotten in my life. So, see you next time. Bye!